This is a wild one. This is a wild one. This is a wild one. This is a wild one.
Cold war winter breathing through Washington stone, fogging the Potomac, empire tightening its throne. Pentagon corridors humming after midnight. Typewriters clacking like insects and fluorescent like men in gray suits. Whisper overfolded seal tight because the battlefield was changing from bombs to the mine site. The Soviets were rumors in every intelligence room. Korean war prisoners speaking like puppets of doom. Commanders asking questions the public never heard. Can a man betray his country with the twist of a word? Can the human mind be broken like mechanical steel? Loyalty rewritten like the spin of a wheel. That's when the file appeared beneath the classified choke. A strange coded title, Operation Artichoke. Not a vegetable garden, not an innocent name, but a blueprint exploring psychological flame. The question type cold in a bureaucratic tone. Can a person be controlled against their own? Basement laboratories humming low and sterile. Scientists moving through protocols, clinical and careful laboratories flowing like rivers through veins. Chemistry probing the art, the texture of brains. Every dosage calculated in silent design. Looking for fractures in the fortress of the mind. Truth serum rumors crawling through intelligence lore. Amnesia experiments behind locked steel doors. Interrogation theories whisper through smoke. Every document stamped artichoke. Not myth carved by paranoia or basement debate, but memorandum circulating deep within the state. Cause power studies weakness the way predators hunt, testing every psychological pressure point. What happens when identity begins to dissolve? When memory fragments no longer revolve? When fear becomes language inside human thought? Can loyalty be rewritten exactly as taught? The Cold War clock was ticking like a loaded device. Two superpowers gambling with the fate of human life. Fear turning ethics in negotiable lines. Security doctrine rewriting moral designs. Every empire believes survival justifies the cost, even when the meaning of humanity is lost.
This is a wild one. 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 This is a wild one.
Files moving quietly through Langley night air. Agents debating how far they could dare. Some saw science, others saw the edge of the abyss. A question echoing history that still persists. When governments chase control in the name of defense, how fragile becomes the wall of conscience. Years later, the archives cracked open their spine. Dust rising slowly from the vaults of time. Historians reading the language of secrecy, finding those experiments etched in bureaucracy. Not rumor, not fantasy, stitched from a joke, but the documented shadow called Operation Artichoke. Because before the later storms the world would know, before deeper projects began to grow, this was the doorway intelligence opened first, testing how far power's curiosity could burst. And the lesson echoes heavier than conspiracy smoke. History sometimes hides behind names like Artichoke. Now imagine those rooms where the questions were framed, where the human soul became a variable in the game, where loyalty was treated like a chemical code, and the architecture of thought became a road. Not soldiers with rifles storming the gate, but scientists mapping the edges of fate. And the deeper you read through the Cold War scroll, the clearer it becomes what harnessed control. The final frontier wasn't missiles in flight, it was dominion over human insight. Because conquered the land and you still face revolt. Conquered the mind and resistance dissolves to a fault. The realization moves silently through the state, a doctrine far more dangerous than open debate. So the next time history whispers through bureaucratic stone, remember the questions intelligence once wrote alone. Remember the files where morality broke, the quiet experiment called Operation Artichoke. Name to prove power will always explore the unseen battlefield behind every war.